What is up, guys? Del Boy here. A quick preview and prediction for Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados. This fight goes down on the 20th of April and it takes place at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. The fight is for the vacant WBC Silver Welterweight title, and I've got to say, I do believe this fight is going to be a fun watch, however long it lasts, but I do make Danny Garcia a big favourite, it has to be said. Danny Garcia goes into this fight with a record of 34 wins, 2 defeats, 0 draws, 20 of those 34 wins coming by way of knockout, whereas Adrian Granados goes into this fight with a record of 20 wins, 6 defeats, 2 draws, 14 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Danny Garcia, he's listed as 5'8.5" with a 68.5 inch reach, whereas Adrian Granados is listed as 5'9" with a 74 inch reach. So Adrian Granados does have half an inch in terms of height advantage, and more importantly, he has a 5.5 inch reach advantage if we believe the official measurements. So that could be an interesting factor going into this fight, depending on what tactics Granados uses. But, going into this fight, you do favour Danny Garcia in a big way. Danny Garcia has proven himself at a high level. He's beaten guys like Amir Khan, Kendall Holt, Zab Judah, Lucas Matisse, Lamont Peterson, among others, and even his 2 career defeats to Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Both of those fights were very competitive. Danny Garcia is an elite level fighter, and he's proved that over the years. In fact, I actually believe Danny Garcia has been underrated by some boxing fans, and I think that's due to Danny Garcia's polarizing personality. And sometimes that it kind of clouds people's ability to fairly judge fighters, and I think Danny Garcia has been a victim of that. Throughout his career, like I said, he has fought good competition with the odd cherry here and there, but he's got good names on his resume, and for the most part, he's always performed well at a world-class level. Point I'm making is Danny Garcia's proven, and he's proven at a world-class level. On the flip side, Adrian Granados, he's a very tough guy, very durable, great work rate, he comes to fight, but you get that sense that he always kind of comes up short at world level. So he got beat by Sean Porter. I felt that was a clear win for Porter. He's lost to guys like Adrian Broner. The Broner fight was close, I have to say, but it could have gone either way. I felt Granados nicked it, but he was competitive with Adrian Broner, and as we know, Broner is not an elite level fighter anymore. And if you go back through his resume, he got a good win over Amir Imam. Amir Imam is a good fringe contender, and arguably that's his best win. Other than that, he's picked up close losses to Brad Solomon and Felix Diaz. Granados, he performs well at a certain level. He's going to give most guys tough nights, but at the elite level, Granados is the type of guy who's always going to come unstuck, in my opinion. However, despite saying that, he is the type of fighter where, if you have an off night, Adrian Granados is the worst type of fighter to fight, because Granados always brings it. He always comes to fight. He always goes in there with a really good punch output and work rate. And if you're not feeling it, if you're not taking it seriously, he can expose you. And that is a danger for Danny Garcia in this fight. So Danny Garcia really needs to be on his P's and Q's. Otherwise, he may have a experience similar to the Mauricio Herrera fight, where Danny Garcia, it was a homecoming fight, he was supposed to win it comfortably, he was overlooking Herrera, and he got the shock of his life that night. He should have lost that fight, but he got a gift decision, and he can't afford to fight Granados with that mindset, because I think Granados could bring similar problems actually, mainly due to his work rate, his toughness, his craftiness. Granados, he's a veteran, to be quite honest. So yeah, Danny, like I said, he needs to be on his P's and Q's. If he is, I expect him to outbox Adrian Granados. I expect Danny Garcia to keep it long behind that jab, use that long right hand, and obviously try and time Granados coming in with that left hook. You know, Danny Garcia just needs to play the boxer puncher, and he should be able to domesticate a pressure fighter like Adrian Granados. He just needs to make sure his mindset's right. Don't give in to Granados' type of fight. Just be calm, be composed, pick your shots, use that jab, and slowly break down Adrian Granados. I believe he needs to approach this fight similar to the Brandon Rios fight. Just slowly break down Adrian Granados. Don't be scared to work that body also. I think Danny Garcia is a good body puncher, and against a guy who, you know, brings a high volume, that's a good tactic in my opinion. Work that body, slow him down, and try to take him out later on. So if Danny Garcia, you know, uses his ability, uses his counter-punching skills, his jab, I believe he should take care of Granados. He just needs to make sure, like I said earlier, he doesn't fall into Granados' type of fight. Don't let Granados on the inside, and just fight your fight, basically. You know, like I said, if he uses his skill set, he should win this fight. He's got more than enough to beat Adrian Granados. So I think by the tone of this video you can tell I'm picking Danny Garcia to win. And not only am I picking Danny Garcia to win, I expect him to win fairly well, and I believe Danny Garcia is going to be the first guy to stop Adrian Granados. Granados, you know, he's had several tough fights, and maybe his durability could be on the slide. It has to happen eventually. Maybe it's the Danny Garcia fight where that happens. I've got a sneaky feeling Danny Garcia is getting the knockout win here. I really do. So yeah, I'm picking Danny Garcia. I'm picking Danny Garcia by late stoppage. Does Granados have a chance? Yes, he does. Like I said earlier, if Danny Garcia's mindset isn't right, then a guy like Granados definitely has a chance. You know, Granados needs to try to get on the inside. I don't believe Danny Garcia is the greatest inside fighter, to be honest. You know, we saw that against Herrera, we saw that against Lamont Peterson, and even in spots against Sean Porter. I don't think Danny Garcia is comfortable on the inside, and if Adrian Granados can spend large periods of time on the inside, he needs to make sure he lets his hands go, and he needs to try and pick up the points and try to outwork Danny Garcia. I don't believe he can outbox Danny from outside. I know his reach is longer, but you know, you don't really see Granados stick and move. You don't really see him commit to that jab as often as he should. He does do it sometimes, but he never does it consistently. Maybe that's because he doesn't really have faith in his long-range boxing skills. Maybe he believes he just needs to make it a phone booth type fight. And yeah, that's where I think he's most comfortable. But Granados does have a chance. I just make Danny Garcia a fairly big favourite. It's one of those fights where you think you know the outcome, but there's still enough intrigue to get me to watch it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this fight. You know, as it's come around, I've been looking forward to this fight more. I do enjoy watching Danny Garcia fight. I like his style of fighting. He's nice and clean. He can punch. You know, solid technical ability. Yeah, I am looking forward to this fight. But share your thoughts below. How do you guys see this fight going? Peace.